Can you hear me okay? This is actually Charles.
Yeah, I'm Tammy.
Hey, Charles. Good to see you again.
Yeah, I'm still in Tammy's Thunder again, her channel.
So really quickly, where you're from,
Okay.
your names, where you're from, and then your birthdays.
Tammy, Charles Bell. We're from Spring Hill, Tennessee, Franklin, Tennessee.
My birthday is 4/12/1960.
Oh, just had it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
varies.
Happy birthday.
Yeah.
And I'm 9/19/1953.
Okay, and
Perfect.
you're both practitioners, and you're a medical doctor as well.
Yes.
DO and a pharmacist, health coach,
Yeah.
gut coach.
Okay,
And
cool.
then I actually did my health coaching through IIN.
Oh, wow.
Okay, that's fun.
Yeah, it was very fun. It was a lot of, it was awesome stuff. And I'm really happy to see that you're partnering with them.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yes.
So your question, or
It's more a comment than questioning. Since Tammy has introduced me to what you're doing, and I've been following you, and we work every day at it, and I've already incorporated it with with our collaborators. As I mentioned before, in my practice, I'm osteopathic trained, internal medicine and critical care, but I've used a lot of the holistic approaches, and I do a lot of myofascial work, but I've included this, and it's been phenomenal. It gives me something a little bit more to send my collaborators with home for little homework and work to do. And so I've been basically pointing them to the Instagram lives every day, the YouTube channel, your website, and essentially partnering with what you're doing. So when I get the hands-on, I can direct them a little bit more, but really sending them out with not that written prescription, but something that they can do that's going to be life-changing, which is our whole goal in our practice, to empower them.
what are
That's
you
beautiful.
what are you noticing that's changing with your collaborators? And for people that they call their patients collaborators, which is the proper term.
Yeah.
What's
Absolutely.
changing?
They're getting a better sense of what's going on in their bodies. You know, people who've had low back pain forever, and I've identified that it's not just your low back, it's more psoas, and I can send them home with something that they can do. I point them to that maneuver that you have on your site, and it's something when I do hands-on. When they're in the office, I can do the hands-on maneuver and give them relief. So prove to them that this is something that can be relieved. And then I can send them home with something that they can do that will tide them over until the next time they see me. My whole goal is not to have them come back. My whole goal is for them to do what they need to do, to be empowered to do what they do on their own.
And
There's more people out there than we could ever service. So yeah, it's just get them out the door.
Yeah. And the same thing with me. I've been doing this for 2.5 weeks, and I've had the first week after doing it for 4 days, I ended up going into a deep, like flu-like symptoms, lots of mucus. It was really bad. I didn't have sore muscles, but I had achiness all over. I just kept doing the maneuvers. We ended up getting all of your, what's that?
The diatomaceous earth and the
CMOS and all that. And we started taking that. And within less than 4 days, I was feeling so much better. It was really hard those first 2 days, tons and tons of mucus. So also we're both going through a lot of trauma as far as we lost our son in February of last year. So I believe that that's why I had that reaction. So there's a lot of trauma coming out of my body, you know, and the fascia maneuvers are releasing a lot of it. I know that. I feel it. I feel so much clearer in my head just within 2 weeks. And it's been amazing. Like right now I have the chills. I'm constantly having the chills after each maneuver. And sometimes I feel worse the next day, but I know that it's okay because I know what's happening. And so it's been absolutely amazing, Gary. So
One thing I want to add real quick so you can move on to others. Tammy's back was bothering her and this morning. So before we joined the session, I worked on getting her just some myofascial techniques that I use to get her prepared for the session. But once she got into the session, I mean, it got her feeling good enough to do the session. But once she's gotten in the session, our comments back and forth all along was that this was really taking us over the top. Allowing more flexibility. I was showing her that I went off camera and I bent over and I can put my hands down on the floor.
Yeah, and that's so unusual for him.
Which is unusual. Yeah, keep in mind, I'm a near 70-year-old doing that.
Yeah.
So it's been amazing.
And I'm a gymnast, and I'm 63, and I can. He's almost where I can be, where I am. Just doing this in 2 weeks. I mean, there's so many. It's just huge.
The flexibility is amazing.
So, Gary, I do have a question though. So I've had this issue with my back for quite a while, and I'm doing the, the core thing. And when I was going into the maneuvers, it would kind of hurt in the low back. But then as I kept going, I kept breathing into the area. And
on your right or left side?
Mainly on my left side lower back.
Okay, so Charles, what you can do for her is you can take your hands onto the left side and pin the skin over top of the hip so you're laying on the hip. So you basically see I'm got my weight. I can do a push up on her. Okay, now Cynthia, you can what you're gonna do is take your elbow. Grab it, take your elbow, grab it, push it up, and then fold away from him. And fold forward and away. Forward, down. Yeah, there you go. And breathe.
Oh my goodness, wow.
And the chin to the chest.
Chin to the chest. And breathe. So what this is going to do, it's going to open all that area up so that it doesn't keep recurring, because that constant repetitive issue means that there's fascia layers stuck there. Way we see fascia is in layers. It's not a coating around a muscle. Muscles, think of fascia like baklava. It's like all these different layers, and the honey and all the goodness that goes through it, all the sweetness is what the fascia is trying to transport. And in that area on your hip, it got stuck. Now you're stretching everything around it, but that one area of the baklava is stuck. And you're stretching it, but there's that one round area. How does that feel now, by the way?
Absolutely. I mean, much better. But I found that doing the maneuvers, I just stayed with it. Sometimes it would twinge, but then it would relax, and I could actually stay in the maneuvers. Not so much when I went left, but when I went right, I was completely fine.
Well, try something now that would normally annoy it.
Let's see. So when I was doing this.
Gone, right?
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So what you're thinking about, what you just showed us, I would do that maneuver, that myofascial release with them lying on the table. I can't get nearly that kind of stretch.
Okay, so
that's why
you're
we took everything
off the table.
Exactly. I'm like getting chills because I mean that's the secret, Basically, the fundamental of fascia series on our website, on our YouTube, these are all the table movements that it was table work that became, we had a movement practice and we had a table practice. But the movement practice came from the table practice. So those are the integration. Those are the ways to move it off of the table. Yeah. We can do more in 30 minutes with someone standing than we used to in 12 weeks with 10 practitioners.
I believe that. Totally.
That's awesome.
Another question: do you think part of that is just having the trauma being removed?
Yeah, it's grief on your left side. Yeah, it's grief about moving forward in your life. So you're now moving forward in your emotional feminine aspect. Most likely that pain was coming up after your son's death.
Definitely.
Yeah, so it's allowing, so the fact that you brought it up allows you to process it. Now that you do something, you can process it. So whatever that grief is going to come out of there.
Yeah, because the day that we found out that he died a week later, I couldn't even use my left leg.
There
at
it is.
all.
Yeah. So that you're going to see a big change in the next couple of days.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
Mhm.
3 days.
exactly. All right.
Okay. Thank you.
That's
Thank
fantastic.
Thank you both for all you
Thank
do.
you, Charles.
Tammy,
That
how are
was
you, Tammy?
beautiful. Appreciate you both for what you're doing.